Hello, and here we go. This is the Simpit. I'm Devin Booth, and we're back with another Oval Series broadcast this week at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Kind of an exciting one. I think this is the first time lots of these guys have been on this track, as it is a recent addition to iRacing. Starting off, we'll run through real quick with our top 5 for this season. Right now, with the point standing, we have Mr. Mark Michkowski out front with 211 points. Tony Morano's in behind him with 200. David Clymer rounds out the podium as far as the point standing for the season goes with 194. Sean Cole in behind him with 192. And Wayne Roberts in with 185. Here we go, looking at our standings for the race as everybody gets ready to grid now with just 30 seconds left to go. We have Chris Gennarelli, a nice lap indeed, with a 17.684 in first. Steve West in second with a 17.771, and Wayne Roberts in third with a 17.789. Two 795s, Matt Wagner and David Clymer rounding out your fourth and fifth positions for today. And with Mark Michkowski in sixth, Brandon Skinner in seventh, Joe Hildinger in eighth, Brandon Carl ninth, and Jerry Watson round out your top 10. Looks like we have 16 people on the grid today. That's David Blair, Rob Melnick, Sean Cole, Anthony Morano Jr., Lonnie Jameson, and Brian Ostrike bringing out the rear for this one. Hey, Mezzer, Metal, Jason, thank you guys for coming to hang out. I appreciate you, bros. James as well. Yeah, lots of people just bought it. I had to buy it for this event, so we have it now. All right, so a quick check through as everybody starts to grid here. The pace car is out. Looks like our overlays are working. Time to get going here. It looks like a good bit of fun. It's got a lot of character to it. All right, as the guys start to grid, we'll just make sure that all of our camera functions are good here and all of that good stuff. I should be fine. Perfect. Excellent. 1, 2, 3, and nose and rear. Perfect. Matty. We will be watching you, Matt. Don't worry. I believe in you. Alright, looks like everybody's pretty well there. We'll start getting excited when they start rolling. Just looking for gaps through the field as we look our way back. Goes back to Mr. Jameson there in 15th. So here we go. Looks like they're starting to roll. Let's get ourselves up to our top car. All right, the pace lap is on. And again, we have Chris Generelli in first, Stephen West in second, Wayne Roberts and Matt Wagner for your third and fourth. David Clymer for fifth, Mark Michkowski for sixth, Brandon Skinner in seventh, Joe Hildinger in eighth, Brandon Carl in ninth, Jerry Watson 10th, David Blair is 11th, Rob Melnick, Sean Cole, Tony Morano Jr., Lonnie Jameson, and it looks like Brian has opted to not start this one. As we come around here onto the back, we'll watch, onto the front rather, I guess. Short track, get your shifting gear. All right, watch for the pace car to be taken off. And we will get started. So again, guys, this time we have Mark Michkowski, Tony Morano, and David Clymer fighting for the top three in our points. Sean Cole and Wayne Roberts are fairly close behind. Cole could definitely move up into third, only 2 points behind Clymer, so we'll be watching to see how they do in this one. Coming through our back stretch here. Looks like they give us 3 of the same cameras for this race. It's not going to be as exciting for camera changes, apparently. And that's it. The pace car is off. Here we go. Chris Generelli's going to be setting it off, and it's a go. Stephen West holding on the outside. Wayne Roberts and Matt Wagner in row 2. David Clymer and Mark Michkowski in the third row. 2 deep. 3 long for this one as we start off here with our first laps. Looks like Stephen West is going to maintain that outside line. He might actually manage to get ahead of Chris as well. Looks like he's got it. Does he decide to shut the door? He does indeed. Matt Wagner getting held up on the outside for now. That's Generelli on the inside, trying to hold it down. Wags is going to be looking to get up there if he can. Looking like the high line seems fairly quick at the start here, but it's all going to depend on how these guys open up the corners. Wayne Roberts looking for some opportunity as well back there in 4th position, and 5th for David Clymer and Mark Michkowski, still side by side from the beginning. Looking pretty good, looking like it's going to be a good race today. Guys are keeping it pretty clean. Mark Michkowski on the outside, pushing nice and far, getting himself ahead of Clymer. He's now on the outside of Wayne Roberts in the 47 Skull. And our leader, Stephen West, managing to get a little bit of a runoff from Chris and Matt. Chris having quality pole. Mark Michkowski with a little bit of shake and bake on Matt. Going to get on the inside. Clymer's now on the outside of Wayne Roberts back there. Some good fighting going on for our top positions already. Already 5 laps down as well of 140 today at North Wilkesboro. Flag's getting held up on the outside. Looks like Clymer's trying to get his nose in there now. Mark Michkowski making sure he holds it down low. Clymer pulls up on the inside. That's going to force Matt back. Looking at a shake-up. Matt's now back. Looks like he's dropped a position from his start. Yeah, Clymer now getting ahead. So we have a bit of a shake-up. Stephen West in first position, followed closely by Chris Generelli. Mark Michkowski now in third. That's up 3 positions. What a great start for Mark. David Clymer in 4th position, up 1, and Matt Wagner down 1 into 5th. Pretty good little battle to start off. Let's take a look back through the field here really quickly. Wayne Roberts in 6th, Brandon Carl in 7th, Joe Hildinger 8th position, Rob Melnick is in 9th, 10th, Jerry Watson, Brandon Skinner, and Tony for 11th and 12th respectively. David Blair in 13th with Sean Cole in 14th, down 1, and Lonnie Jameson bringing up the rear, looking to keep her clean. Back up to the leaders we go. We do have some 2 wide. Chris Generelli on the outside, Clymer on the inside, looking for that 3rd position. Looks like he's going to manage to get it. Chris Generelli dropping down 1 more spot. That's now 3 down from his start. Steve West still leading. Mark Michkowski up to 2nd with Clymer in 2nd now, or in 3rd rather, sorry. Everybody's looking pretty good, pretty clean here. That top 4 have now spaced out a little bit. Let's keep our eye on, is that Joe Hildinger on the inside with 25, looking to make a move here on our man Wayne Roberts. Pulls down on the inside, looks like he's keeping it clean. Good respect from these guys, looking good. Lap 10 completed now already. This is a short track, the laps are fast, under 20 seconds. Moving quickly, expect to see a lot of battles and some worn tires. And it looks like Wayne Roberts is going to manage to keep that position there. Oh no, he loses the position to Joe Hildinger there. So he's going to move back. That's Wayne Roberts down 4. Joe is now up 2. Back up to our leaders to take a quick look again. We have side by side Mark Michkowski pushing on the exit of turn 2. As we go into 3, he's going to be looking on the inside. Looks like Steve West actually did catch a bit of wall there. He has a crumpled fender on the front right side. Michkowski holding up close behind. Still running about the same times. Michkowski on the inside. Mark pushing. Steve looking to defend, though. Holding a dominating line. It does seem like it's kind of an off line to be faster here. Clymer now on the inside. Mark Michkowski getting pushed up top. Clymer's going to pull on down and make that pass nice and clean. But only 2 tenths separating him and Mark. We'll see whether they decide to battle or if they decide to push it up and get by West. West carrying that small amount of damage. As we come through turn 4, we have our first caution of the day, going on to lap 14. Move back through the field, see if we can find the spun car. It's Joe Hildinger from the looks of things. Let's back it up a small amount. And looks like Joe going for the inside pass on our man Wags. Gets himself a little bit loose, actually, and hops on the barrier. It's going to put him out and down a few positions right off the start, unfortunately. But it looks like nobody gets caught up in that. Joe holds his brakes through the end. Well played, looking good. Move ourselves back up here live and check in with our leaders. We do have pits already. They are going to go for it. Tires are going to be a thing after 15 laps here. We'll see if that shakes anything up. Did everybody opt to pit? It seems so. All 14 cars now in the pits. Oh, 15, sorry. And here we go. The boys coming out to catch up to the pace car. We'll see if this shakes everything out, and if so, how it did. Couple guys coming out side by side. They're fighting for position as they come out. I'd imagine some guys just taking tires, some taking a little bit of splash of fuel. And that's Rob Melnick coming in last there. He must have not been able to get in right off the bat, had to come in late. Steve Clymer going to be the man to come out in the lead ahead of Steve West. Wags is going to be in 3rd position with Chris Generelli in behind for 4th. Wayne Roberts in 5th. Lonnie Jameson in 6th. Brandon Carl, Jerry Watson, Mark Michkowski, and Brandon Skinner for our top 10. Tony Morano Jr. is now 11th, up 3. David Blair in 12th with Sean Cole, and Joe Hildinger in behind. Rob Melnick again in the pits, now pulling out. Going to be looking to get himself caught up before the pace car pulls in. He does have a lap, though. Should be fine. Looking good so far, boys. This is a tight track. I'm actually kind of surprised you managed to go 15. But hopefully we manage to keep green for a little bit longer on this one. Should be the last lap before the pace car pulls in, as we do have a green flag on our notification screen there. You guys can see on the top left, obviously you have your standings. Top right, you have your battle. And bottom left, you have your flag notification. You can see whether or not we are yellow or green and when the checker comes out. Now here we go. Again, pace car should be pulling off here right away. And there he goes. David Clymer is going to be the man starting the pace for this one with Steve West on the outside. And coming out of the corner, he's going to get on it hard and try to get himself a good little bit of a lead as we go into turn 1. David Clymer followed closely behind by Steve West. Matt Wagner coming out in 3rd, 2 wide. Wayne Roberts with Chris Generelli up on the outside for our position 4 and 5 here. with right in behind them, Brandon Carl looking to snuggle up in there. And the trading paints car 2 deep behind them, and Mark Wichkowski as well. Looking like we got a heck of a fight going on here. Sorry about that, guys. I could turn that off a while ago, my bad. Looking real good. We do have a fight for the leaders. Let's move up and take a quick look here. Looks like Steve West is just pushing Climber. It looked like they were too wide there for a second, but looks like they're just close together. Still holding and getting a pretty good lead there on Matt Wagner. He must be defending on Wayne here. Chris Generelli still on the inside. Brandon Carl up on the outside, looking to make a move. Looks like he does have a bit of a run. It's going to all depend on how they opt to take these corners. Chris Generelli going deep on the inside, and Brandon staying quite high. Actually going to get that pass away. Moving back through the field, Mark Michkowski. He's definitely going to be looking to get those positions back. He's now down 1 from the start, and we know that he has the pace to do it. Cars are looking really good here, though. Let's move back up to our leaders. David Clymer still running first with Stephen West right in behind him. Matt Wagner is following behind in third place, leading that second back. Wayne Roberts in behind by 3/10, 2/10 right around that area. Chris Generelli about a half second behind those two. With 2 wide, Mark Michkowski making the pass on Brandon Carl. We'll have to watch again. Mark, we know he's going to be pushing to try and get himself up there. 2 wide behind them. We have Lonnie Jameson. Up top on Jerry Watson. Watson was the one that ended up pitting early, so we know he's got some pace in him. Looks like we got a 2-wide battle back behind, as well as Sean Cole's on the top with Joe Hildinger down below. Cole going to be looking to get a decent finish. He is in 4th place for the standings at the moment. Let's move ourselves back up through the field. Take a look at what we got going on here. We have the 323 of Tony staying low, and Brandon Skinner looking to push on the outside, but it looks like he's also trying to pass Andy at the same time here, so quite the mix-up going on. As we are 2 wide. Lonnie Jameson getting pushed upside. Also getting a bit of a bump from behind by Brandon Skinner there. That's going to keep him a little bit loose, I think. But Skinner's boxed in with a 25 of Joe Hildinger down on the inside, trying not to get contact. See the car wiggle and trying to hold his line. These guys are trying their best to be as respectful as possible. The races are not easy on these short tracks, especially with these cars slipping and sliding the way that they do. Looks like Joe's going to manage to come out on top of this one. Lonnie Jameson getting pushed up onto the outside. And Brandon Skinner looking to keep his nose up in there to try to get past Lonnie as well. I'd imagine that Sean will be looking to do the same thing. Oh, a little bit of contact as they come wide, and Lonnie actually does manage to hold that. Let's move ourselves back up through the field, take a quick look at our leaders. We still have David Clymer leading over Steve West. Not a lot of gap between them, but that gap is growing, so that could be a sign of things to come. Matt Wagner still leading the pack, the second pack in 3rd position here, with Wayne Roberts in behind him, and Mark Wichkowski now did gain that position back up to 5th. We're going to have to watch and see if we can catch him making more passes as he moves and shakes his way back up to the top of the field. Rob Melnick down on the inside. Now lap car looking to be getting his lap back as he passes to Jerry Watson. And in the back of the field we have Sean Cole just hanging out, chilling. Again, you guys can check out Sean Cole's live stream at twitch.tv/Simpit Live if you'd like to check out his perspective, get an idea on what his plan is for the race, what his strategy is going into it, and how he thinks he's going to finish. Now getting the pass on Lonnie Jameson nice and clean, moving smooth and easy. Let's move ourselves back up to our leaders once again. There we are, David Clymer holding strong. Now just about a half a second to a second, depending on the corner, ahead of Steve West, so Steve is definitely dropping off. I imagine that crumple on the front right is not doing his tires well. Matt Wagner, 3rd position, still holding it strong. Wayne Roberts in 4th. Mark Michkowski still in 5th, but he is running faster than Wayne, so let's keep an eye on that for a moment. We will have to watch and see if he manages to get up there and get into the pass. Let's actually move back real quick and take a look. We do have a bit of a battle going on here. Rob trying to get his positions back. Get himself back on the lead lap and during the next pit if he can. I'd imagine is what he's looking to do. Ourselves back up to Mr. Michkowski here and see if we can get the pass. We're now on lap 32 of 140. Just come to a close. The laps are quick here in North Wilkesboro. Words booth. Real quick, while we have a lull in the action, thank you guys for coming to hang out. I very much so appreciate you. If you could be so kind as to hit that like button, the big old thumbs up down there. Also, if you could subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff. It helps us out over at the Simpit, making sure we get the coverage that Sean deserves, because y'all know that Sean definitely is a leader in the sim space, and anything we can do to support him, I think, is ace. So, you know, hit that like button, hit that share button, all of that good stuff. David Blair, forgot to check fast and fair before going into 15 minutes. Oh, that sucks. They are indeed live, S4D. They are indeed live. Yes, this is the Simpit Oval Series broadcast. Every Friday night we come through and do the Simpit Oval Series. So there's our man Sean Cole there in the blue and orange 39 car. Again, you guys can check out his stream at twitch.tv/SimpitLive. That's his perspective. The man, the legend, Sean Cole from Inside Sim Racing, now moved on, created his own thing over here at the Simpit. And a few of us are just doing what we can to help out. Dave, that sucks to hear, buddy. That's a super big ouch. There's a pretty good little fight going on here. This track is small enough that everybody's kind of keeping condensed. Speaking of which, let's take a quick look at our standings again. David Clymer still holding strong, now half a second or more ahead of Stephen West, no longer bouncing back and forth. Rob Melnick making his way back up onto the lead lap, pushing as much as he can, I'd imagine here. It's going to drop Wags back a little bit, which I'm sure Wags isn't happy about, that being a blue flag. But Rob's on slightly fresher tires, having pit lap 20 instead of 14. Might be on a different strategy than these guys. Wayne Roberts following that pair, probably going to be looking for an opportunity, I'd imagine. Trying to use that lap car to his advantage. So no, they're not all streaming. I think for this one, Sean's the only main streaming one. Yeah, because Finn and everybody's not in here. So Sean Cole's the one streaming. He's streaming on Twitch. Usually Sean does most of his live content over there as far as like the behind the scenes stuff and racing and stuff like that goes. And he does his kind of recorded content over here, and then there's a few of us that pick up the slack, so I do some help for him. Dave Blair also does some videos here. You'll see KA Sim Racing and Mitchie Boyer as well, all kind of help out a little bit. We all have our tasks. Just trying to keeping an eye on this battle here. I was hoping to see if we'd see a position shake-up. Melnick managed to get ahead of Steve West now, so he's moving up quite quickly. Going to get his lap back. Michkowski actually fallen a little bit farther behind. I thought he'd have caught up by now. He is running slightly faster than the guys ahead, but we're not seeing him in a battle just yet. The next group here, we have Chris Generelli, Brandon Carl, and Joe Hildinger battling for 6th position, all nose to tail. And we know that Joe has some pace out of him for sure. Move ourselves back through the field here. Jerry Watson in 10th position. Our man Sean Cole in 11th, and Brandon Skinner in 12th there. Lonnie Jameson is in 13th. Back to our leaders. David Clymer now with a 2.5 seconds over Stephen West, with Melnick pushing to the side there. Steve West still holding strong in second, though. He's doing fine. Quality second, stayed second. David Clymer's up 4 positions for that lead at the moment. Wags up 1. Thanks so much, S4D. I appreciate you, buddy. Welcome and welcome. All right, Wayne Roberts right on the tail of Matt Wagner there and looking to do something. We're now 44 laps in, crossing now as we come through 3 and 4 on the lap 45 of 140 here. Be interesting to see what the strategies are depending on how the yellow flags go. We did have a yellow at 15 laps, but they've now gone and done 30 without them. So there is definitely some potential for this to green flag most, if not all of the way. These guys are running nice and clean, fairly consistently. Let's do a quick look back on our bumper cam for Wayne Roberts on the chase with Matt Wagner here. Again, Clymer's got a pretty consistent dominating lead there, so we'll leave him be. Stephen West in 2nd, Matt Wagner in 3rd. Wayne Roberts, who we're watching now, in 4th position, trying to get that pass on Matt Wagner. Mark Michkowski is up 1 to 5th position. Joe Hildinger in 6th. Brandon Carl in 7th. Chris Generelli in 8th. Tony Morano Jr. in 9th. And Jerry Watson round out the top 10. Sean Cole, Brandon Skinner, and Lonnie are back there, rounding out the backpack. And again, Rob Melnick pushing his way up through the field in 14th there. You can see this track's got lots of texture to it, lots of lines, lots of bumps. He's short. It's a difficult track, but still well laid out. Lots of good racing here today so far, and hopefully it continues. So back out to an external camera. And we will take a look back up at our leader to see how he's doing. Our man Clymer, there he is now with a 2-second lead over Stephen West. 49 laps, just about 50 here now. A little over 2/3 of the way through the race. And he has a dominating lead. But if we go green flag, pit strategies are definitely going to come into play. So We'll see how this works out in the long run. Again, that's Rob Melnick trying to get his laps back there in 14th position behind Clymer. Lonnie Jameson in 13th, moving his way through the pack. Actually, looks like he's trying to keep himself up and out of the way as Steve West goes for the inside there. And Matt Wagner going to be looking to follow with Wayne Roberts in close behind. And actually, Mark Michkowski, because of the lap car of Lonnie Jameson, managed to get back up with this group. So we'll have to watch and see if Mark manages to make a little magic happen. We know he's a hell of a racer. Again, Mark is the current points leader for the series with 211 points. Tony Morano in behind with 200 and Dave Clymer with 194. You know, S4D, a lot of us kind of starting to think that way. When it comes to watching the races, I mean, I could be a better broadcaster. There is that, right? We're not professionals like you see on TV when you hear the broadcasters. But at the same time, the camera control, right? The ability to do this kind of thing live, controlled by whoever is broadcasting, is really nice to have that opportunity. And, of course, with the Sims looking as good as they do now, it doesn't look as, you know, kind of crappy as it would look if we had been doing this 10 years ago. And of course, being able to do this kind of thing, like we can go ahead, we'll get a cockpit version here. We'll actually do a roll bar for these guys. I prefer this one. Do the roll bar on Mark Michkowski in behind the pack, but it's all, you know, nice, easily controlled. You guys have the overlays, you can see the battles, the timings and all that kind of stuff is really tight, whereas with, in the real world, of course, timings are going to be off a little bit because you're trying to obfuscate everything, and it's very difficult to do. But this gives you live, up-to-date, to the millisecond kind of times. Mark Michkowski looking in really good in behind these guys. I was actually hoping to see a bit of a battle if he could push up, but I imagine he's probably trying to watch his tires as well as keep up with these guys. Oh, and there we go, Steve West up top. That second position up there. Matt Wagner going to be looking to get in behind him. Let's actually move up to Matt and see what this looks like here. Matt Wagner sitting in third position, bottom of the podium, looking for second. Steve West does have the damage on the front right quarter panel there. So we're going to be having to watch and see if Matt can get himself in there. Looks like West is taking quite a bit of a wider entry into the corners. Wags opting to be tighter through, but getting as good of an exit. I wonder if that's a tire strategy out of West. And maybe that's why he's falling back a little bit. He's being a little bit more conservative in the name of tires. It is possible. It is entirely possible. Let's move ourselves back out to the external cam and take a look through the field once again. Moving back up to our leader, David Clymer. David Clymer qualified in, I believe, 5th position. He's up 4 positions now to 1st. Doing real well. Looking good. And Stephen West in behind him, 2nd position. And actually, there we go. Matt Wags on the inside as we go to look at it. Matt stuffs it down the inside, gets the pass on Stephen West. Stephen West now down to 3rd position. Matt Wags up into 2nd. I'm sure Matt's feeling good. Heck yeah. Well done, Matt. Good job, buddy. And of course, we know all these guys, right? This is the Simpit community. We race with each other often, so these guys kind of know each other's habits. They know all each other's drives. And there are some rivalries, and of course some big heads and yada yada, like there is in any series of any kind of competitive thing. But for the most part, these guys know each other well and respect each other, so you do tend to get really good racing. It's much appreciated to watch. These guys put on such a good show for us. Wags now with a half-second lead over Stephen West. I actually think we're going to take a quick look here with Wayne Roberts, as I would imagine that West is fighting some of that damage. You can see on the front right quarter panel. Actually, we can even take a better look for you if you'd like. Do one of these guys, a little bit of a far chase and a wop bop. You guys can take a quick look. The front quarter panel here on Stephen West, right from the beginning. He's pretty crunched up. I'd imagine he's got some extra toe in that tire, maybe lost a little bit of camber. Right? It looks like the metal is rubbing. I don't know if it's actually rubbing according to iRacing or not, but if it is, that patch you can see right here, where it's digging into the tire, depending on how iRacing is modeling that, sometimes the tires will wear against the car, sometimes they won't, as I understand it. But that will definitely be causing issues, so you can see why he's dropping off. And actually, having some trouble getting her loose. Hold on to it, buddy. Green flag racing still does not promote the caution. Well held, Steve. Well held. Move ourselves back up a couple cars and back to the external camera again. Here we are. Mark Michkowski is now going to gain some positions out of that, as is our man Wayne Roberts. Unfortunately for Steve, dropping back now to 6th position with that little slide out while we were watching him there. I'm sure he's trying to fight that damage, though. It can't be easy. So now he's down 4 positions, but there is a quick repair. we'll have to watch and see if he decides to use that mid-race. We're now 65 laps in, just about halfway today with our Simpit Oval Series race. And for the most part, the guys are looking pretty good. As we move ourselves back through the field here, I want to get up to our leaders, and we'll do a quick check to see how everybody's doing. There he is, our man, David Clymer, with the lead, running a 19.725 after 66 laps here at North Wilkesboro. Again, this is the Simpit Oval Series, and we're back on ovals again. I know we've been running roads for the last little while. My apologies there. Well, I mean, not necessarily my apologies, but our apologies. We did want to try to mix it up and do something a little bit different, but I don't think it worked out so much. We'll probably cut a lot of the courses, keep it down to 1 or 2 per series. For the next season, we'll see how that goes. Anyways, David Clymer leading with a 2.5 second lead over Matt Wagner, doing well, looking good. Matt Wagner, again, second position, holding it out strong and running a 19.758, so he's actually a little bit faster than Clymer at the moment. Melnick now dropping back with hope that he decides to stay high. There he goes, allowing Wayne Roberts in the 47 Skoll to take the inside there. That's appreciated. Nice to see. Rob had newer tires and made quite a few passes on the guys early on, but now that he's starting to get worn, he's going to have to drop back. I did see our man, Mark Michkowski, hitting the pits, lap 68, so he is the first to pit out of this group here. Let's take a quick look, see if we can find any 2 wides, any battles going on. At the moment, doesn't seem to be so. Our leader, Sean Cole, up to 9th position now, so he's up 4 from his position, just running her clean and easy. That's our man Sean, taking it slow, taking it easy. Chris Generelli, unfortunately, with a bit of a rough start, down to 9 positions after qualifying pole, where he's going to be kicking himself. He also seems to have a bit of a crumple there, though, so could be a factor in that. Brandon Skinner in 11th, and back up to our leader, David Clymer, in the 242 Simpit Gray and Red. Looking good, looking strong as he makes a pass on Skinner there, putting Skinner another lap down. Skinner's only in 11th, so Clymer's moving up quite quick, getting ready to lap the top 10 here. Let's move ourselves back, take a look and see what we got. Matt Wagner, 2nd position, still holding strong. Wayne Roberts in behind by about a second for 3rd. Joe Hildinger in 4th, and Steve West now back to 5th position after that little bit of a slide out. But still holding fairly well. He's only down 3 positions. He's got a minimal amount of damage, and there is still a pit to go as we are on lap 73 of 140 now. And we do have more people hopping into the pits. Mark Michkowski is going to be moving up, I believe, in 12th position at the moment, but he pit lap 68. Sean Cole was in lap 72. Lonnie Jameson went in lap 67. And Steve West went in 73. So we're going to see everything start to shake out now as everybody else starts to pit as well. Keep an eye on Mark because he is probably one of, if not the best oval drivers that we have in the series. Absolutely great driver. Let's get an in-car so you guys can watch just how smooth he is through here coming into T1. Watch him slowing down nice and easy as he brings it down low. Gets on the gas nice and early, pushing out wide. Looking real good. We're actually getting a little bit of first-hand action. There goes Sean Cole on the inside of our man Wayne Roberts there. Wayne's running on old tires, Sean on new, having pit a little bit earlier. And Sean going to make the pass on Wags as well. Wags still running in 2nd position. Mark Michkowski and Sean Cole on different laps, so this is going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. Move on to the external here, just keep an eye on. So Mark Michkowski is actually a lap ahead of Sean Cole. Sean Cole is actually laps behind most of these guys. Sean Cole looked like he was going to go to the inside there, but Mark took it from him. Which makes sense. Again, Sean is laps down, so at this point he is kind of obligated to get out of the way if he can, or at least stay on his line. He was kind of outside. Brandon Carl now running his best lap back there with an 18.0, coming out of lap 72 with new tires. Kind of just watching the pits here. We still have Matt out on his oldest tires. He's now currently the leader. And we have Mark Michkowski and Sean Cole just looking to use Mark's draft from the looks of things to stay in behind. Mark again pit lap 68, Sean Cole in 72. So Sean does have newer tires. If he opts to kind of manage them and stay behind Mark, he might be able to gain quite a bit out of this actually in the long run. I'll have to see. I'm not sure exactly how Sean ended up that far back. He is a lap down still. Mark Michkowski now up to 3rd position with that early pit. I'm thinking Mark's going to end up taking 1st out of this. We're now coming up to the finishing over halfway now through our 140 laps of North Wilkesboro with these boys here in the Cup cars. Michkowski on the outside of the 323. Shiny, shiny, Mr. Morano. And Sean Cole as well. Looking to go on the outside, I think. Actually, no, him and Morano are on the same lap, so this could be a bit of a battle here. Sean Cole is in 12th position, Morano in 11th. Sean Cole pit lap 72, Morano on lap 76. Morano on slightly fresher tires. Dave Blair, unfortunately, having an accident, having to take 8 minutes of repair. Rip Blair. Sorry, Dave. It sucks to see it, buddy. But we give you a little coverage anyways. That's our man, Dave Blair, in that 36 car. Dave's an absolute legend. He's also another big helper with the Simpit. You'll see him post some videos on the Simpit crew the odd now and again, racing with us all the time. Absolute legend. And voice of a golf announcer. If you guys ever need a professional announcer for golf, you call Dave. Only the community will get that joke. All right, here we go. Let's move back up, check on our leaders here real quick. Who is in first now as we move ourselves through the field? Matt Wagner holding it down. 84 laps of 140. I believe he's on his second set of tires. I think he took a set when he had that pit earlier. So he should be on set 2, I think, now. But he's losing a lot of time to these guys. You can see there goes Wayne Roberts in 5th position, starting up the inside. And the 25 of Joe Hildinger as well. Probably the 55 of Lonnie Jameson going down as well. Matt getting stuck on the outside, running on the back straight. I wonder if he's going to be looking to pit. Last time he went in was lap 14. We're now on lap 85 here, so he could pit now. Opting to stay out. And if he pit now, it would be about the, excuse me, about halfway, basically. Basically, that's the pit halfway. If he had to pit now. Now lap 80, or 86, I guess now. So a couple laps later. But he's doing good. He's holding it strong. There he goes, into the pits. We'll have to watch to see how this shakes out. It's nice being able to interact, SD. Like, I mean, being able to look at the chat and being able to talk and answer questions and that kind of thing, it's a lot of fun. And then again, like you say, being able to do everything and control everything, then you actually know where your cameras are, and it's a little derpy because it's not the smoothest thing, but it runs fairly well. Alright, let's move ourselves back up to our leader now. There he is, Mr. Mark Michkowski. Early pit, lap 68 from position 5, puts him into first position. 3.5 seconds over Clymer. Go, Wags, go! Wags now in 10th position with that late pit. He's probably going to be kicking himself for that, but we'll have to see how it shakes out. There could be one more pit in this yet. Wags pushing on the inside there, keeping his 10th position. Again, lap down at the moment on Mark, a bit early. I'm a terrible NASCAR driver. I tried to race these for a little while, and I kind of can, but I get too stressed out and too angry, so I started announcing it instead. It's fun, but it's very, very stressful being door-to-door with these guys. Very, very, especially when they're friends. You want to be as careful. Looks like Clymer's making some pretty good time up on Mark. He was 3 seconds back, now only a second and a half. We could see a shake-up here. Mark Michkowski currently in the lead, lap 91 out of 140. Looking good. Let's actually move back real quick. I want to take a look. Let's get Clymer's perspective on this. Get into our wonderful roll bar. Y'all know I love that camera. And take a look. There he is. Mark Michkowski, a second and a half behind. David Clymer looking to move his way up. Michkowski stuck on the inside with the lap car of Brandon Skinner. The 959 held up on the outside. That could be good for Clymer. It could be bad. We'll have to see. On the inside, moving fast. Wrong button. There you go. On the inside. There we go. Brandon Skinner. Easy peasy. Nice and quick pass. Clymer's going to be looking for the lead here. Less than a second separating him and Mark. We'll keep an eye on this for a moment more. Mark currently up 5 positions to number 1. David Clymer currently up 3-2 rather. Wayne Roberts is currently in 3rd with Stephen West in 4th, and Joe Hildinger rounding out your top 5. Looks like Wayne and Steve are actually having a battle, but I don't want to get off of this just yet. Now 3/10 behind. He is definitely picking up the pace here. We have a 19.3 out of Mr. Michkowski to 19.0 out of Clymer on the lap before. This lap here, we have a 176 versus a 186. So Clymer not opting to get past on this one. Let's move ourselves back through the field really quick. We have ourselves a battle going on. Wayne Roberts currently on the inside. That's, sorry, Joe Hildinger currently on the inside. And that is our man, Stephen West, moving on the outside. Joe Hildinger now as well. Oh, wow, look at that, 2 passes. Unfortunately, Wayne Roberts dropping 2 as we go to watch him here. Commentator's curse, I guess, catching him, eh? Whoa, some shaky out of Brandon Skinner, but these boys all do get by. Move ourselves back out again to the external camera and take a quick check on our leader. There we are, Mark Michkowski, followed closely behind by David Clymer in second position. Clymer having pit lap 76, Michkowski in on 68. One's got fresher tires than the other. We'll have to see how this pans out. Michkowski doing a damn good job of leading there. Oh, and quite the push out of Clymer coming out of turn 4 on the front stretch. He definitely had some contact out of that one. Looking pretty good, though, these boys. Here we go. Oh, and he goes for it. He's on the inside. Does he get it? Not quite. He's still on the inside. Still on the inside. You can just see his tail end. And Mark Michkowski actually going to get stuck behind right there. There we go. Michkowski now past David Clymer with the lead. Hello, Dan. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for popping in. We appreciate you. David Clymer now up 4 positions. With a 19.344 to Mark Michkowski's 19.707 last lap. The last lap was not clean for either, so let's watch them for one more lap here as Michkowski does his best to hold up on Clymer. And here we go. What are the lap times? David Clymer coming across the line with a 19.250. Mark Michkowski with a 19.525. Dropping slowly but surely farther down, unfortunately. Clymer now looking to get past the lap car of Sean Cole, holding strong in 10th position. As we pass Sean, as always, guys, if you want to go check out his perspective, you can take a look at twitch.tv/SimpitLive. That's twitch.tv/SimpitLive. Yeah, Clymer's an absolute legend. He's a great driver. And right now, if we look at our standings again, so Mark Michkowski, our current second place runner, is following David Clymer, who's currently in first. And if we look at our standings for the season, Mark Michkowski is actually our leader with 211 points, and Clymer's in third with 194. So a win here, depending on how Michkowski finishes, could actually move Clymer up quite a bit, but it's all going to depend. If Mark manages to keep that second position to Clymer's third, I think Mark still retains the lead. But that could move Clymer up to second. Morano right now currently running in 7th, and 6-point lead over David Clymer. So it could, I think, with him in 7th, Clymer in first, that should tie them, I believe, for second, Morano and Clymer, that is. Depending on how this finish goes, we'll have to watch next week. We'll take a look and see. But yeah, so for now, taking a look at our standings points. Again, this is not the top 5 for the race. This is our top 5 for this season. The standings. Mark Michkowski has 211 points. Second place, Tony Morano Jr. with 200 points. David Clymer with 194 in third. Sean Cole is in fourth with 192, and Wayne Roberts rounds out that top 5 with 185. So looking at our list here, Clymer looking to gain the most at the moment if he can manage to hold this lead. Mark Michkowski, if he holds second position, should retain his lead. Morano, I think, going to be pushing to gain another position or two in order to manage to keep where he's at in second place right now for the season. Currently running 7th place in this race. Our man Sean Cole up top. Mark Michkowski holding the bottom, I'd imagine. Sean's just trying to not to lose too much time, while Mark's trying to not fall back too much on Clymer at the same time. Sean pit lap 72. Mark was in at 68. So Sean should by rights have better tires. Move ourselves back to the field. Joe Hildinger now up 3rd position. He's managed to gain 5. Well, Joe after being farther towards the back there. Brandon Skinner lapped in 12th, but doing fine. And actually moving on the inside of Mr. Hildinger there. He must have newer tires. Stephen West in 4th position with Wayne Roberts close behind in 5th. West Matty running in 6th position with David Blair in behind again. Dave, unfortunately, out with an incident going into the pits. He missed the quick repair button, ended up with 3 minutes of required repairs. The big sad for Dave, but he's still sticking it out there. We're running clean. Thanks for coming out, Dave. We appreciate you. Chris Generelli running in 11th position. That's Sean Cole in the pits, as well as Mr. Michkowski. Again, that early pit could work out for him. Lap 110 of 140, closing out on 111 as we come across the line, following Jerry Watson, now up to 7th position. Oh, sorry about that. And there we go. David Clymer up in 1st, pit lap 76. 4 positions up from his start and doing well. Joe Hildinger is in 2nd and 6 positions up from his start, having pit lap 76 as well. That's Brandon Skinner in the 242. Oh, sorry, in the 959 there, moving on the inside of our man Clymer. Skinner had pit lap 104, so his tires are a fair bit fresher. Sean Cole pit lap 109. We saw that. Michkowski in 110, so he did come in a little bit after Sean. We'll have to watch and see how the shakeup goes. We're going to keep our eye on our leader for now. Mr. Dave Clymer has moved his way up through the lap traffic. The lap traffic moves its way around through him, I suppose, considering the lap traffic's mostly pit. Joe Hildinger now pitting from lap 13. Steve West is well in on lap 113. Now 114 of 140. Looking to see how long Clymer decides to stay out. This will be interesting. Mark Michkowski looking to make the pass on the inside as the position number 8 car. Now 7th as we come through the pit cycles. I'm wondering if Clymer's opting to stay out for the last 20 laps, 25 laps, or what his plan is here. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm holding first position still, fairly strong. Matt Wagner now up to 2nd, having pit lap 86. I think Wags will be looking to stay out. I don't think he's going to let him pit. 5.3 now behind Clymer. And as Clymer is left all alone, let's move ourselves up and take a look. Oh, we do have a crash and a yellow flag. That's Lonnie Jameson, unfortunately, spinning around. Let's take a quick look to see if we can find out what happened. Looks like he's just getting loose, unfortunately, on the exit, and the snap oversteer catches him on the correction, sending him into the barrier. This Lonnie's race pretty well done at that point. Unfortunate, Lonnie. Unfortunate, my man. Put ourselves back up live and get focused on our leader. Mr. Clymer out front. Are they going to opt to pit is the question. Lap 118 of lap 140. If they pit now, they'd have 20 laps to go and fresh tires for pretty well all of them. We'll have to wait and see. Got quite the cluster going on here. Clymer does opt to pit in. And Matt Wagner going in behind him with Wayne Roberts as well in behind them. And it looks like Tony's going in as well from 4th position. So we are going to have a shake-up in our leading positions here. Let's get focused on the pit car for a moment. Pace car, rather. Just to see what's going on here. Joe Hildinger getting the wave around. I heard a blown engine. Oh, Lonnie, no. Unfortunately, is going to have the blown engine. That's going to put him out. You hate to see it. You hate to hear it. Sean Cole into the pits. Dave Blair pulling in behind him. Looks like Hildinger. And Stephen West. Stephen West with the lead at the moment. Let's see here. Is that really? Is it really? I said Hildinger was up there, but then he dropped down. Looks like Stephen West is the current leader. I'll have to wait for the car to come around one more time here. West pit lap 113, and he was our pole quali. It is possible for him to be up here. He's been running great times. It looks like he's a lap down, though. I think Clymer is still our leader here. Just keeping an eye on the caution flag. It'll go green on the bottom left there. You guys can see the flags. When the pace car is getting ready to pull in. So it looks like we got another 2 laps here. Gonna be an interesting start for this one. Stephen West and Rob Melnick, 9th and 13th position respectively. Going to be leading the pack on our restart from the looks of things. Dave Clymer, Matt Wagner, Wayne Roberts, and Tony Morano Jr. looking to be the 4 behind. Wags is in 5th with Carl in 3rd. 121 laps now completed, completing 122 on this yellow flag. Only 2 yellow flags and 140 at North Wilkesboro in these cars is quite impressive, to be honest. I'm really happy with how they did. Good job, guys. And that's it. The pace car's getting ready to pull in. The lap cars have pulled ahead. Here we go. Lap cars are going to be looking to catch up to the back before the pace car gets around. Here we are on the back straight. And I think for this one, we're going to go with ourselves a little roll bar cam for our restart here. And we're going to back up our man Wayne Roberts in 3rd position here. Could give us a good view of everybody starting here at the beginning. You can see the cars getting ready to go. The pace car is in. Clymer's setting it. Clymer's off. Wags on the top. Wayne's down here. Looks like he's got quite the run on Morano. We're gonna snake out to 4 long right off the bat. Out to the external camera. Let's take a look, see what's going on. 2 wide, Mark Michkowski on the inside of the 77 car of Brandon Carl. Michkowski looking to make it stick, and he does, holding it strong. As they start to line up once again, here we go, back up to our leaders, David Clymer, lap 124 of 140. We're getting close to the end here, boys. Clymer leading with 0.3 over Matt Wagner. Everybody having pit, lap 118 in our top 6 positions. Jerry Watson in on lap 119. Everybody's running pretty fresh tires here for the last few laps. Here we go. Clymer still holding the lead. Matt Wagner in 2nd. Wayne Roberts in 3rd. Tony with Mark Michkowski real close behind. And Brandon Carl also looking to make a move. Michkowski looking to get that push going on the inside here as Morano gets held up on the outside in the 323. Michkowski looking to make it stick, holding it down strong. A. Morano's widening out early. Michkowski holding tight. That's going to cost him. But he does get the run coming back in here through turn 1. And as we come out of 2, Morano does have the lead, but behind them we have Brandon Carl on the outside with Jerry Watson on the inside, looking to make the pass now for 6th position. Quite the shakeup going on for our 5th and 6th. The podium looks right now to be pretty secure. We have David Clymer still leading strongly. Sorry about that. David Clymer still leading strong over Matt Wagner and Wayne Roberts. Wags is pushing in close behind, but Clymer's playing the defensive, holding the inside line. Wags actually going for the pass on the outside, but Clymer holding it down, looking strong. Wayne Roberts going to be looking to get an opportunity out of this, seeing if he can push up there. Looking pretty good so far. Sorry about that, we got stuck on the pace car. Ah, come on, fix it. David Clymer up in 1st, there we go. Mike Wagner holding in 2nd. Trying to get that position out of him. We are now on to just about 10 laps to go. I think that's 12 here. David Clymer holding strong. Wayne Roberts still looking for the opportunity. Wags stuck in the middle of the sandwich, just trying to figure out what he can do. He's up 2 positions from the start, so he is doing well. And the caution is out. Let's see if we can find the sideways car. And, oh, Michkowski, unfortunately, in that one. Let's see what happens here. Michkowski looking to go onto the inside and getting loose. Trying not to touch butts, I'd imagine. And unfortunately, our man Sean Cole getting caught up in that one. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. All right, here we go. So it's going to be a dash to the finish here now. Do we see any pits for this last one? Let's just let her ride around and see. The yellow flag still out. I don't see anybody pulling in. Oh, there goes Skinner, I believe that is. Brandon Skinner into the pits. Oh, Brandon Carl, sorry. Alright, so that looks like that's going to be the only one, hey? Obviously Michkowski going in, Stephen West collected in that as well. So West, Carl, and Michkowski out. Cole's going to be down as well. He doesn't opt to pit from the looks of things. Caution flag still out. We're on lap 132. 8 laps to go as we cross the line here. Caution flag still out as the boys get lined up. Taking a look at our standings thus far for this race, we have David Clymer out front, up 4 from his start. Matt Wagner in second, up 2 from his start. Wayne Roberts holding down third from start to now. When Tony Morano Jr. up 10 from his start for finishing of 4th if he manages to hold on to it. Jerry Watson in 5th, Joe Hildinger in 6th. Chris Generelli, unfortunately, is down to 7th position. Brandon Carl down to 7th. 8th is Chris Generelli. And Stephen West in 9th. 10 for Mark Michkowski now in the pits. He's going to be dropping out, so we'll have to wait to see how that balances out. And the flag is green. So we're watching for the pit car to pull in. Here we go. One more restart. If these boys can hold on, we've got ourselves about 7 laps left here. I think 6 once it goes green. There we go, boys. The pit car's pulling in, and we have our last stints. There he goes. David Clymer with the lead, setting the pace. We're coming through the final corner. Here we go. David Clymer's on the gas. Matt Wagner falling in behind with Tony Morano Jr. and Wayne Roberts going to be left to battle behind them for third position here. Tony getting pushed to the outside, but looking to hold on to it as best he can with Wayne Roberts on the inside. Do we see an over-under, or does he hold the outer line? He decides to go inside, but doesn't quite have the run, so that's going to let him fall back. Tony now in 4th position. Again, up 10 from his start, feeling good, I'm sure. David Clymer running in the 242 up front, lap 136. Wags trying to push his way around in any way that he can, but Clymer holding that inside line, looking to defend to the end of the race. Here we go. Matt Wagner looking to push. He gets up close, but he just can't quite get in there. Is that going to slow him down too much, though? Is that going to allow Wayne Roberts onto the inside into this battle for the lead? Here we go. Lap 137 onto the back straight. David Clymer still holding it strong. Wags, as he starts to catch up, coming through the corner. Going to be looking to get his nose in there again. He's up real close, gets a little loose, actually ends up down low, and that's Wayne Roberts with the opportunity now to the outside. Wags holding the inside. Does he manage to get the gap? It's all going to depend on Wags. Here we go, pushing wide, and Roberts does manage to hold it. That's going to give Roberts a position now, up 3rd position. Again, he started 2nd, so he's going to be smiling with that, of course. David Clymer still holding the lead. Wagner getting held on the outside, but he does manage to close off the gap, so Tony Morano Jr. is going to be held there. Brandon Carl with the absolute mad dive in on Tony for 4th position. Looks like he's going to try and take it here. He's pushing pretty hard. Having pit lap 131, he does have newer tires than the rest of these guys, and he's using them. Carl's pushing up now on Matt as well. Let's see if he manages to get up here. These guys are all running on older tires. Carl's the only one to have pit lap 131 and remain in the top 5. Here we go. Down on the inside. And on the exit, he is going to do it. He's pushing out. There goes Matt Wagner. Brandon Carl on the inside in the 77. Getting a little bit loose, though. Not managing to make it stick. But he does in the long run. He holds it down. Matt Wagner being nice and respectful, staying up on the inside. I'd imagine Wagner is doing his best to just hold the outside. And that's it. We crossed the line. Where are we at? Brandon Carl does get 3rd with that push towards the end. Holy hell. Let's take a quick look and see. So we have David Clymer as our leader. Wayne Roberts in 2nd, Matt Wagner in 3rd, Brandon Carl in 4th, Jerry Watson in 5th, Joe Hildinger in 6th, Morano Jr. in 7th, Chris Generelli in 8th, Stephen West in 9th, and Sean Cole manages to bring home the top 10. And that is it for our 140 laps at North Wilkesboro. What a push from Brandon Carl on the last laps. I almost missed that was the last lap because of how hard he was pushing. Well done, Brandon. And actually, he didn't manage to get it. He is still in 4th. He was close, though. He was close. 1/10 behind Matt at the line. 1/10 behind. He was pushing as hard as he could. But well done, Brandon. Well done. Right towards the end there. That was a pretty crazy dive on Morano, but he made it stick, and he didn't really cause any accidents, so we'll let him take it. Clymer doing his victory donuts. Well done, Clymer. Absolute mad lad, Clymer, as always. Guys, with the stream now getting towards the end, I want to thank y'all for coming to hang out. Very much so appreciated. It was a good time. As always, these guys are such good racers. Only a couple cautions here in 140 laps is quite impressive. I'm happy to see it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Well done. Congratulations to Mr. Clymer. on that first position. Well played, sure. Again, Wayne Roberts in second. Matt Wagner for third. Brendan Carl for fourth. Jerry Watson for fifth. Joe Hildinger, Anthony Morano Jr., Chris Generelli, Stephen West, and Sean Cole round out the top 10. And everybody else on the field, thank you guys for coming. That's Rob Melnick, Mark Machkowski, Brandon Skinner, Lonnie Jameson, David Blair, and Brian Ostrake. Thank you guys, as always. Don't forget to like, sub, share, and all that good stuff to help support what we're doing over here at the Simpit. Speaking of which, this is the Simpit. I'm BaBaBoothie, and this has been your Friday night Simpit Oval Series broadcast. Thank you guys for coming, and we will see you in the next one.